Yeah.
Yeah, so a question for Walter is this, which you sort of answered just now, but maybe you can just delve a little bit deeper into this. Is this reflective of a deeper rot in the civil and public service? I think this is that's a bit strong, maybe. And also, I
Okay,
don't want to
I'm going to
be
say
I don't want to be
no.
too harsh. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to be too harsh on ordinary civil servants. You know, who
Yeah.
most of them just wanna serve Singapore. You know, I don't want to be too harsh on them as well. But at least maybe not deeper rot, but is it elite? Is this elitism 101, right?
Okay, I'm going to say no to that just straight off. And the reason why I want to say no to that is that in all the interactions that I've ever had with civil servants as well as political office holders, I would say that for the policies that touch our daily lives, regarding, it can be labor, it can be housing, transport, whatever it is. I can say very truthfully, I've never detected any hint of, you might say, duplicity or, self-dealing or anything like that in the way that they think about these policies and think about, well, how do they shape the policies to serve Singaporeans? Okay, I know it sounds a bit like a campaign speech, but really, my experience has been like that. And I think the experience of other people who have worked with the civil service or POHs, political office holders, on these kinds of like daily living policies, it's very much like that for the most part. But but at the same time, I think when we look at the structure of how the civil service operates, but now I want to broaden it beyond that. Okay, when you look at the structure of how the government operates and the political philosophy of this government, I think we have to recognize that over the decades, the government has spent a lot of effort to basically, you might say, influence or manage, maybe manage is a better word. They spend a lot of effort to manage all of the feedback channels in Singapore, right? So just think about, many of the channels through which criticism, dissent, contestation get taken up in many democratic societies. Think about unions, think about the media, think about citizens groups which form around one cause or another. In Singapore, we have to acknowledge that the government plays a significant role, directly or indirectly, in all of these things. And is that good or bad, right? Okay, I guess a lot of people here are going to say it's bad. But if you take a step back, the reason why I suppose a politician might say why we do it this way is because they would say something about how dissent is important, criticism is important, but if it's not managed carefully, it could lead to destructive divisions of society. Okay, so no campaign speak for me, okay? But basically, that's kind of what they would say. But they would also, I think, if they're honest with themselves, they would also have to recognize that if they manage it too well, then they will never hear the genuine concerns of people, right? Because everybody down the line has a way of managing the criticism and dissent so that the people on top don't hear the full force of it. That's just how it is, And I want to say something, not in Singapore, but something I've heard about, which is, I thought, quite interesting, instructive for our experience. And everybody knows that China is not exactly super open society in terms of criticism and things like that, right? It's a lot of control, state control. But what is interesting is that I've seen research that indicates that the central Chinese government is actually explicitly tolerant of local dissent and the local media. Why are they tolerant about this when they actually have the tools to shut down a lot of this? It is because they recognize that local dissent and media play a very important role in surfacing up things which are really problematic, because they know that sure as heck everybody down the line will never tell the central government what is really going on. And maybe we should learn something from that, right? I'm not saying that we should manipulate things in that way, but I really think we could be a bit more open, or a lot more open, towards alternative ways for people to criticize, give feedback, and so on, which are not occurring through the managed, you might say, channels. Okay?